So when we run behind the latest, we feel so backdated when we don't have that. Yet, it was doing our job fine. That Nokia that I've got is probably a dinosaur, mashallah, but it does the job. What do you want from a phone? You don't need the latest all the time. Well, did you see the apps? Well, believe me, the apps, as we are speaking, there are thousands of apps that are being created per minute. Are you going to keep up with that? So this is a waste of time. You're running behind something that does not come with you into your grave. That's the difference between a Muslim and he who is not. We need to have the iPhone that will take us to Jannah. We need to worry about the latest that will take us to Jannah. You have a Quran that is out, that reads for you, mashallah, there you are. You know, you have something else that is out, that is the latest, that will help you increase and improve yourself. You need to have time for yourself that will make you a better person. Your wife can say, that guy is the best husband on earth. Then you are speaking business. You don't even need a cell phone, believe me, to achieve that status. And can I add one thing? If you don't have a cell phone, you probably will be one of the best husbands. Because a lot of men are married to their phones. Polygamous relations. Allahu Akbar. Allah protect us. Some people are behind sunglasses. Some people are behind clothing. Some people are behind brand names. It doesn't stop. They think, they think of making things to keep your money rolling in. And we like fools keep running behind. I pictured it once in my mind. I'd seen a load of rats running behind a piece of cheese. And as they got the cheese, there was one smelling stronger in front. So they threw this one, and they carried on. And they threw the other one, but eat from this cheese and be full at least. I hope you understand what I'm saying. You've got your cheese, the first cheese you've got, and what happens? It goes to motor vehicles, it goes to cell phones, and after that it goes to your spouse. Why? You've got a wife. Oh, she's 1990 model. I need, now, I need a later model. Why? You developed your habit of wanting the latest. So when you see your wife, she no longer appeals to you. When you see your husband, he no longer appeals. Why? Just like your phone. It no longer appeals.
The most precious thing you and I have to preserve is our iman. And these filthy images is destroying your iman. They're tearing your iman apart. Don't let it happen to you. Do not let it happen to you. And I can only talk about this. I can't stop you from doing anything. And nobody else can. You will have to police yourself. You will have to control yourself. You'll have to make the decision, is my iman important enough? Is my salat important enough? Or should I just carry on and pretend? You know what I told you about jazur, right? When you come across evil, you just don't want to deal with it. You just ignore it. There's a lot of people like that. They hear this stuff and they don't deal with it. They just ignore it. And you're jazur. Then you're not from the musallin. Illa al-musallin. If you don't be from the people of jazur, from the jazureen. Don't be from them. The people who just leave it. They don't even deal with their problem. They run from it. And they cave in every time. And they're reactionary. And that's the beautiful thing about the beginning of this passage. Halua, reactionary. Usually we react to temptation. You react to an image and it leads you to a site, which leads you to something else, which leads you to something else. You're constantly reacting to things. You're supposed to learn to have the right reaction, and the right reaction comes when we become people of salat. The only thing we can do is have a mature conversation about this and teach our youth to deal with this and navigate this and not fall into it. The elders that are here, stop watching Indian movies, man. Why are you sitting in a lecture talking about salat and the importance of salat and you don't guard your shame? Mother and daughter and husband and wife and sister sitting together watching whatever? God, come on. Stop. وَالَّذِينَ هُمْ لِفُرُوجِهِمْ حَافِظُونَ. They guard their privates. But guarding your privates doesn't mean you don't commit zina. It means everything that leads to the temptation. Everything that leads to it. They watch it, they guard it. They know it's under attack. They know that their shame is under attack. And whatever it takes, if you just don't be alone, don't be by yourself, be with good friends. Be outside, study somewhere else. Go to the library and study. Go somewhere where other people are around. Because when you're by yourself, shaitan gets you. And if the fear of Allah isn't enough for you, at least the fear of other people will work for you. At least something's better than nothing. For those, I've said this in other talks before, for the parents here, if you have a computer in the house, please don't make it a laptop. Have a desktop in the house with a really big monitor. Get the biggest monitor you can find. Honest to God, and make sure your computer is in the kitchen or in the dining room. Don't put it in the living room. Don't put it in the kids' room. Don't put it in your bedroom. Put it in the dining room, facing the public. You want to do homework, do it over there. Though you can't move the monitor this way or that way. It's facing everybody. That's how you should have it. You know? This stuff, we have to take these precautions. Don't give your 11-year-old a smartphone. What were you thinking? That's not very smart. You know? Don't give them a smartphone. Why am I seeing kids in Islamic school, 5th graders, with iPhones? iPhone 5s. I don't have an iPhone 5. Why do you have an iPhone 5? With 4G, you know how dangerous that stuff is?
Part of the hadith, the Prophet ﷺ says, use your wealth before poverty overtakes you. So when you have a little bit of money, do something good with it. You can save it up and buy something important, or you can donate a portion of it and make sure that you've done something that you will be proud of tomorrow. You will not look back and say, what happened? I should have done this. Ya laytani fa'altu wa fa'alt. I should have done this and I should have done that. The next part of the hadith, use your life before death overtakes you. Use your life before death overtakes you. The second that we're living in now will never ever come back. Forget about 100 years and 1,000 years. The moment I stood up here is gone. It's over. It's never to return. What happened in that moment is over. It's written, it's recorded, and that's it. Hujjatun li aw alayya. It's either going to be for me or against me on the day of Qiyamah. So I need to make use of it properly. There are two gifts of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that many people have not realized or are deceived regarding its importance and its magnitude and its greatness. What are the two things? Your health and your time. Your free time. Now here I know we're speaking of free time. That's because you're meant to be occupied in that which will benefit you, not in that which will not benefit you. Because you only live the moment once. What are these opportunities? The first one, the opportunity of your health before sickness overtakes you. When you're healthy, that health is temporary. It will definitely be tested. It will either go away in batches or sometimes completely. So you need to use your health. When you're healthy, make sure you do something constructive. Make sure you use that health in the right direction. Instead of waiting, and then when you're sick, you say, I wish I could have read Salah. Now I'm sitting, I can't even read Salah standing.
Which is why in the next ayah, Allah does not even say, إِنَّ الَّذِينَ يُبَذِّرُونَ. He says, إِنَّ الْمُبَذِّرِينَ. The ism fa'il is used, which suggests these are people who do this all the time. They just develop this habit and they do it all the time. What does Allah say about them? It's one of the worst things that is said in the Quran about people. Like one of the worst labels ever given in the entire Quran about people. Allah says, إِنَّ الْمُبَذِّرِينَ كَانُوا إِخْوَانَ الشَّيَاطِينَ. The people who spend recklessly, all the time, prematurely spending their money, they have been declared the brothers of shayateen. They are the brothers of the devils. كَانُوا إِخْوَانَ الشَّيَاطِينَ. And why in the world would these people who spend recklessly be considered brothers of shayateen? Let's think about this for a little bit. First and foremost, الْعَاجِلَةُ مِنَ الشَّيْطَانِ. Rushing comes from shaitan. The idea of you becoming impulsive and rushing into spending your money without thinking twice about it, that is actually something satanic to begin with. Second, when you spend a lot of money on frivolous, useless things, if people spend tons and tons and tons of money on entertainment, for example, which industry makes a lot of money? Because you're spending it, you're the customer. Well, you don't make the money, it's the entertainment industry that makes the money. So when you spend your money on useless things, useless industries become successful. When you spend your money on wasteful things, the wasteful enterprise, the wasteful corporations, they're the ones that thrive. And when they thrive, shaitan's work succeeds in society. So we become part of the machinery of shaitan. لِرَبِّهِ كَفُورًا. Please listen to this part very carefully. This is the scariest part. Allah could have told us so many things about shaitan in this ayah, but the one thing He told us, and shaitan has always been extremely ungrateful to his master. Allah mentioned his ingratitude, his extreme ingratitude. You will notice something with shopaholics. That's what they call them, right? Shopaholics. They shop all the time. They're never done buying enough shoes. They're never done buying enough technology. They're never done buying enough whatever else. They're constantly buying and buying. Guess what? They're never happy. They're never happy. They're never grateful for what they have. Their eyes are always on what they don't have. What more can I buy? What more can I acquire? What more can I get? All the time. In other words, this idea of a constant consumer, you can only be a constant consumer if you're dissatisfied. And dissatisfaction is the exact opposite of gratitude. Shaitan is dissatisfied. He's ungrateful. He's ungrateful. And so is a mubadhir. So is someone who spends frivolously all the time. They are never grateful.